The selection of these companies is not a hugely scientific investigation. We are looking for companies with potential to reduce climate change, transformative technologies. It is not either, we have not done a kind of financial analysis and due diligence of these companies, so we wouldn't recommend you to invest loads and loads of money without first doing that yourself. But many of them have been third-party verified, for example, by the Energy Authority, etc. Partnerships with clean tech innovation community. This year, rather than doing the large mapping that we did previously with our project group Global Focus, we have had a very successful cooperation with a number of actors already in tune to the innovation community here in Sweden. That was Stockholm Innovation and Growth, Sting, one of the hosts, Sweden Clean Tech Incubators in Skåne, Innovatum in Trollhättan, and a competition called Miljöinnovationstävling, an annual competition that's 10 years old by now, I believe. So again, the evaluations that were made were based strictly on climate impact. Now I would like to call my colleagues, Magnus Emfeld, who is now the manager of the Climate Innovations Program, and Ann-Sofie Aronsson, who is our assistant in the climate program, up, and they will help to present this year's selection of climate solvers. Da-da-da-da. Yeah. Yeah, I'll read the motivation, and then I'd like to ask you to come up company by company and receive your handshakes. So the first company, for the wood roll biomass gasification system, providing green power for heavy industry combustion processes such as steel, pulp, and minerals. This is a great example of how renewable energy can offer an alternative for demanding applications that have earlier been dependent on fossil fuels. If implemented in 10% of these industry units in the US and Europe alone, the wood roll technology could reduce CO2 emissions by 32 million tons per year by 2020. The company is... Oh, not Eric. Sorry about that. The company is Cortus. We had a different order. For the hollow core construction for energy storage in buildings, a great example of holistic and smart thinking for an industry sector with long-term impact on climate change, since it can cut energy consumption in buildings by 30 to 50%. If the hollow core technology would be used in 1 out of 10 buildings built from 2010, it could reduce CO2 emissions by 114 million tons per year by 2020. And the company is Climate Solver Thermodec. The next company, for the Elvis Electricity Visualizer, an important tool for making individual homeowners aware of the energy consumption and its impact on our climate. This wireless solution is building on the fact that by law, 500 million homes are estimated to have so-called smart meters by 2020. Tests shows that solutions like Elvis result in reduced energy consumption in a range from 13 to 24%. Assuming a mere 15% reduction, and if implemented in a quarter of this huge market, the Elvis technology could reduce CO2 emissions by 43 million tons per year by 2020. The company Climate Solver Exibia. For the PV-powered water purification system, a great example of new technology at the service of those who most urgently need it. Boiling water to make it safe to drink with solar power, replacing conventional burning of solid fuels, limits deforestation, and at the same time improves living conditions, especially for women and children. If implemented by a third of its 80 million household target market, this water purification technology could reduce CO2 emissions by 26 million tons per year by 2020. Climate Solver Solvatten. For the integrated biomethane plants for vehicle fuel production, an example of systems integration and its important role for disseminating climate innovations, in this case bringing biogas to the vehicle market at scale, while also limiting the negative impacts of landfills from unsustainable waste management. If 50% of the globally produced solid waste that would otherwise become landfill could be produced in an integrated biomethane plant and replace fossil fuels in vehicles, it could reduce CO2 emissions by 99 million tons per year by 2020. The company is Climate Solver Swedish Biogas International. And now for the Airlight heat exchanger for air cooling, a great example of energy conservation enabled by innovation, since it brings down energy consumption by up to 30% in its systems for air conditioning, freezing, and ventilation. If implemented in 10% of its target market, the Airlight technology could reduce CO2 emissions by 246 million tons per year by 2020. And who do we have? Eric, AB. For the supersonic wave engine, SWE, an inspiring example of a power generation technology that can replace the conventional combustion engine, the SWE builds on scientific findings in the field of pulse detonation, which is 40 to 45% more efficient than the burning of fuels as it is done in engines today. If this technology were to be used by only 10% of its potential applications, it could reduce CO2 emissions by more than 50 million tons per year by 2020. The company is Climate Solver Neopower. Thank you very much. We have 7 companies here, I hope, since I lost track of my slides here. We'd like to get a group photo, if that's okay. This is kind of like the wedding picture. So if we could just kind of squish together so that the photographers, Anne-Sophie, come up on stage as well. We'd like to get our whole gang in here. Can I get in behind someone? So we're going to use this for our blog on Climate Solver, so it's essential. You tell us when this is good enough. We have to squeeze together even more. So one big happy family. Thank you, everyone. I'd like to round off by just inviting you all to attend our panel discussion later, which was called A Global Climate Deal, a Big Deal for Clean Tech, where we'll talk about the kind of investments that are being discussed in the climate negotiations, where we're calling for investments from the public sector of up around $160 billion per year, and what that will mean for private investment and the flow of other monies into the clean tech sector. Then you are welcome to visit our exhibit out in the main exhibit hall, where you can meet both the new climate solvers as well as some of our old, and they can easily be identified by these buttons that say Climate Solver. And finally, to visit us on climatesolver.org. Thank you.